Hey, what's going on, guys? Sir, I'm not here, bringing to you a deck profile for Altergeist for the current December format. Just want to say sorry for not getting videos out recently. I was busy with finals. College is stressful, but I'm on break now, so hopefully there'll be more videos coming. And I also apologize if I sound pretty tired. This is my third time trying to record this. My other two recordings went on way too long, and I just was not happy with them. But hopefully I'll just try and be concise. I want to go over my deck choices, or my deck card choices rather, and explain them. It's pretty standard overall, I would say, but there's just a little bit of insight that I kind of want to share with y'all, and as well as go over a short little tournament report of locals that I played a couple of days back, just to kind of like give a rundown of how the deck performed. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Hopefully I can keep the actual deck profile to like 7 minutes or something. Right, so for the monsters, we got 3 Marionetter, 3 Multi-Faker, 3 Meliseek. This is off frame. Wonderful start. 2 Silk and 1 Conquery. So this is pretty standard. It's just the Geist monster lineup. It's pretty standard. I don't really think I have to explain this. It's kind of just the engine that every deck out there ever runs. So just gotta play these cards. And then the only monster hand trap is Ash. I think it's a good catch-all hand trap. It's good against pretty much every deck. It's not like the highest impact, but you can't really afford to saturate your hand traps for combo decks in a format where there's so many control-oriented decks. So just a 3 Ash is fine. Like, it never really will win you the game on its own, but like it's just a good deterrent. So that's it for the monsters. That's 15 monsters. Moving on to the spells. We have 3 village, and then we have 2 desires. This should be 3, and I've been playing 3 the whole time. Just, I really want to fit room for like more traps and like different traps. But yeah, this is super important. Village is also really important because against Striker, like you really just can't win without this card. There's out resource you most of the time. Their engine is so much more compact because like the only way they really need to get into the game is a way to access Ray or engage because they're both basically the same thing. So like, you just need village to stop them. Since it was a locals, I didn't main deck the metaverse. I sided it instead. But if you're playing at like a regional or YCS, I would recommend actually maining the metaverse. Yeah, that's it for the spells. 5 spells. We got 20 traps in total here. So this engine cards are 3 spoofing, 2 protocol, and 2 manifest. Double of this is for desires, and in the grind against Striker and the mirror match, because you really need to win the long games since you're not really going to apply a lot of pressure through boards or through like, you know, good striker hands and such. So you need to be able to play the long game, and the other 2 ratios should be pretty self-explanatory at this point. But as you can see, the theme of this deck is pretty much just try and optimize control matchups and make sure you can play the long game. So we got the other hand trap, which is 3 impermanents, 2 Duster, and 2 Lost Wind. I think Lost Wind actually against Striker in particular is better than impermanents. Reason being is that impermanence is only okay really going second if their play is Strike or Shizuku pass to try and search engage. But even at that point, next turn just make Hayate and send the engage anyway, and then they play. With Lost Wind at least, you can grind more because it's recyclable negation that like you can just keep disrupting your opponent's plays while you try and draw into more engine cards or try and draw into your village. It's just a much more reliable way of negating your opponent's engine and doing so in the long term as opposed to impermanence, which is just a one-time use. Lost Wind is also less susceptible to stuff like Twin Twister, whereas impermanence obviously is. So I actually tend to side out the impermanence in that matchup specifically in favor of different cards. Duster is decent in that matchup too. Good against players who like to overextend with multi-roll. Also good against the mirror match too. So only 2 of each of those, just because you don't really want to oversaturate on like a specific type of disruption. And they're not hand traps, but I actually side a 1/3 of each. And then we got the Solemn package to round things out, as well as the Imperial Order. People have been cutting Warning, and I'm not really sure why. It's really good against the Striker links. You just need to cut off their ways to get to Ray and engage. Because like I said earlier, that's how their engine works fundamentally. like Engage and Ray are essentially the same card. So like Ray floating is a big deal for them. And with the Geist engine, like the cards are all very, very powerful and work together very well in tandem to control the board, but they all serve different purposes. So like you can't just necessarily bank on like one Geist name to get you back to the engine, because like if you only draw like a Marionetter, for example, like that's not going to be enough to win you the game. Whereas like if they have Ray, that's pretty much all they need. So if you can just Warning or Strike or Judgment, whatever Link monster on summon, you'll be in good shape. And then Order's just more like win buttons against that deck. You just need as many of those as possible when playing against that deck, because it's super hard to play otherwise. So that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. Moving on to the extra deck. It's mostly irrelevant. We got 3 of this, 1 of this. Sometimes this floating to recycle stuff comes up. Usually not though. This because for some reason I still fear Ulti Falcon. This, which you make a lot. This, which you can use to keep Village up, but is actually not that relevant, to be honest. We got this, which I don't really make too often. This, which I would say is one of the more important cards in here, because you need to out Inspector Border. You just need as many ways as you can, even though it's not a surefire way. You just need ways to out Border, because Border just is so hard to deal with. We got Nightmares. These don't come up often, but if you do find yourself in a situation where you need these cards, you'll want to have them. Good toolboxing cards, help you climb into stuff like these cards. This should not be Trisbane. I don't play this card. This should be Triple Burst for the Striker matchup. I just don't own one for some reason. And then this, which never comes up, but it's cool to have. Ningirsu I actually used. I'll explain a bit later, because that was kind of funny. And then we got the side deck, which is most important. I'm already at 7 minutes. That's great. We got Lantia. This is for Thunder Dragon mostly, because it's not as free of a matchup as people think. Melistic and Silk are good outs, but you need to draw into those cards, and if like you only have spoofing or like other non-engine cards, like it's not going to get you there. So this is a good deterrent for that. Good against combo decks too, like the Slash Draw FTK, they need to resolve beginning of the end and stuff, as well as things like Phantom Knights, Malicious, Divine Sword for the other like Rongo Turbo and stuff. Good, so it's a good overall card. 2 Ogre. I don't like this card too much, but it is good against combo decks and like Pendulum and stuff, so like it's just good for hitting Rogue. 3 Border. You just need this for the mirror match, because if they're setting Border and you're not, and they see it, you basically are playing the game of draw and permanent to lose, which is not a good strategy. So you just need more ways to be able to play. 3 Evenly, which I actually don't think is that good against the meta. It's okay against Rogue though, and people who like to overextend. We got double Metaverse, and then the 3rd copies of each of these. So like in theory, again, like you want to play a slower game against Striker in case you don't draw one of your villages, and then these really help out a lot in that regard. Whereas Impermanence isn't really good for grinding as much as Lost Wind is. I want to stress that a lot. And Heavy Stormduster is nice for like hitting multi-roll. It's just good to like punish like back row, like setting a lot of back row, which is what the deck tends to do anyway. I side out Desires usually in that matchup, just because like you need to see like every single Geist name sometimes. Like you just go through that many like rotations of like Multi-Faker and stuff. But also like even though Desires instantly gets you a +1, if it's not winning you the game, like it doesn't really matter. Whereas like if you have Metaverse anyway, like it doesn't matter if like it takes longer for you to draw into more cards, because they can't play in the meantime. So I think that's fine. Like you don't need to instantly draw like every other card. You just need to like see one of your, what is it, 6 copies of Village. So that's pretty good. So that's it for the side deck. 9 minutes isn't too bad. I just like quickly go over my tournament experience. So round 1 was against my good friend who's on a token here to the side. He's playing Rongo Bongo Turbo. Game 1 he wins the roll. He used a lot of resources early. I noticed he like sends Greffer. He summons Greffer and then sends like Malicious and a lot of Phantom Knights really early on. So I just impermanence to summon Sork, which I wouldn't normally do, but it worked out because they had no extenders. He sets 2. They're both Fall Blades, I know, because he doesn't use his Boots effect. So we just kind of grind it out when he Fall Blades my Marionette and realizes he can't attack it. So we go pass. Eventually gets to the point where I managed to see Multi-Figure before he actually makes a meaningful play, and then I win the game from there. Game 2, he has Soul Charge, so I just lose. Game 3, I was able to establish Faker plus Ogre in hand, and in 2 sets. He Twin Twisters me, but it doesn't matter because I was able to trigger multi-Faker anyway because I had a spoofing, so I just flipped it. He couldn't out the Silk, and then I was just able to take control of the game from there. Round 2 was against a Sky Striker. Game 1 was one I should not have won at all. My play was quite weak. I think I go first. And but he ashes my Desire, so I go set 3, pass with Faker in hand. But he opens the nut. He has Ray plus Engage plus Terraforming, and he had the Ash my Desires, and he had Twin Twister. So he just had everything. But I just held my Spoofing, which was the card he didn't hit off the Twin until the end phase. And I just Faker for Meliseek, and I somehow break the board to where I was able to establish Hextia. And I knew he had Search Burners, and he had set an Engage off the multi-roll. So I just manifest for 1 here to negate the burner with this, and then I flipped up the protocol to summon a multi-faker here to negate the engage, and he had 0 cards in hand left. Somehow managed to win, shouldn't have. Game 2 was... oh yeah, it was a brick fest. So he goes first, sets 2. I go. Marionetter, he strikes it. I have 4 in hand to be able to set, but I decided to set 2 because I read Twin Twisters. He has it, which is good because I want him to use it since I have Order in hand. He kills a Lost Wind and a Duster, and this is why Lost Wind is great here. He draws Terraforming, I Ash it, goes pass, and I go set Order, set Spoofing, pass. I have like Protocol in hand, I think. And then he goes Foolish Goods. I go Order, he goes Twin Twister. I go Chain, Spoofing, shuffle back the Protocol, just get Faker. The card he pitched off Twin was the last card in hand, so like after dump Metal Fusion, I had Faker plus Meliseek. He draws off the Metal Fusion. It's there can be only one, so it's not really anything. I obviously keep the Meliseek, so I kill it and then make my play main phase 2. And then he draws Twin Twisters, so that was kind of it. Round 3 was against Cosmo. I opened 3 Marionetter, but I have like Village, which actually was relevant even though it's not usually good in that matchup. It was only good because they had double Aura of Darkness in hand. So his play was like to rely on Tin Can. I Protocol negate it. He tags out for a Dark Eclipse, which is really hard. But I top deck into a Meliseek. I kill a backer with it, and then I go Manifestation for the Marionetter, send Protocol for the Meliseek, because the Meliseek got ashed anyway. And then I went make Phoenix pop the other back row, draw a card, it's Faker, and then make Ningirsu to send my Village and his Dark Eclipser. And then with Faker in hand and like another trap set, like he basically just couldn't play. Game 2, I kind of brick. We kind of pass back and forth. He also bricks. But like I was able to like strike his Tin Can, and I had like a Lost Wind set and a Duster set. So like burn resources kind of early. He goes for a Farm Girl push pretty early, but I punish it with Lost Wind. And then I go summon Faker, and then that's pretty much take control of the game because he burned quite a bit to try and get that Farm Girl push on board. Round 4 was against Thunder Dragon. Game 1, I just lose. Like I don't think it opened particularly well, but he played well enough to be able to like actually break the board, which was good in his part. So I just concede. Game 2, I go first. I set 3, and I think I have Link Rebo on board. Let's see. Yeah, I Judgment his Twin Twisters. He somehow finds a way to get he pitches like one of the Dark Thunder Dragons. I think it was like Roar or something. And he goes Solar Battery Man, pitch Earth Dump the Matrix. And I'm like, at this point he has a Light and a Dark. I know he plays BLS, and he plays like the Baby Chaos Dragons. So I go activate Lancia, and that stops his turn because they had both in hand, both BLS and a Baby Chaos Dragon. Passes turn to me. I basically was just able to set up the like entire negate board, and I had another Lancia in hand, so he scoops it up. Game 3, we get into a little bit of an awkward grind. Like I Ash his Roar, and he doesn't really have a good follow-up play. Like his plays like Titan Pass. I go Marionetter, and then he pops my Impermanence on end phase. I only have 1 set, but I forgot to play around Denko. I didn't flip it up. I didn't flip up the protocol on standby, and he Denkos me. But it's fine because I had Concrete in hand, so I negate the Denko, and then next turn I flip it up, and then I summon Faker. So that was good. I was able to like break the board from there and just win. So it's pretty good. Sorry if I sound really tired. It's because I am. I'm probably gonna like look at this tomorrow and be like, wow, this is a really awful video. Let's upload it. But yeah, it's more of an insight into like how I kind of like play with the deck. It's like it's not a very detailed report, but yeah, more videos to come soon, particularly with a deck that I can't wait to like showcase test hands for. It's this deck. Look, I even have sick proxies. But yeah, that video is gonna be coming soon. Looking forward to that one. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Really hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a hashtag penguin if you made it this far into this 16-minute diatribe. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.